to the 2020 edition of the Oxford English Dictionary, there are precisely 171,476 words in the English language. And of all these words, I'm sure that you have a favorite one. I know that I do. That word is, in fact, the best answer to some questions I've been asked in my life. Questions like, would you like some chocolate? Or, ma'am, are you ready for your epidural? The answer to that question, those questions, is in fact my favorite word, and that's yes. Yes signals agreement, acknowledgement. It states a preference, and it's applicable across languages and culture. And what's better is that yes, in combination with one other word, yes and, you can create anything your mind can imagine. Yes and. Alternatively, yes in combination with one other word, yes but, can destroy anything your mind can imagine. You may recognize yes and as the first rule of improv comedy. And as an improviser myself, my ensemble uses yes and on stage to create and heighten performances. And how it works is elegantly simple. When someone offers you an idea, you say yes, and you build on it. And what continues from there is a volley of yes anding all throughout the performance. In fact, without yes and, there would be no improv comedy. And the power and magic of yes and is so far extended beyond the stage. It's just as relevant in everyday conversation and in professional business life. And the great discoverer of this is the great improv comedy school, Second City. Over its 61-year history, Second City has created some of the comedy legends that we all know and love, like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, John Belushi, amongst hundreds of others. But the future comedic star is not the only type of person who enrolls in these classes. With increasing frequency, we're finding professionals from academia, journalism, healthcare, and the corporate environment who come to Second City to learn the art and mindset of yes and apply it back in our own environments. Because just like in improv comedy, professional success requires creating something out of nothing. And over its years of teaching yes and in the business environment, Second City has observed that work cultures which embrace this yes and philosophy are more likely to have engaged employees. They're more likely to manage communication and conflict more effectively. And these organizations are ground zero for innovation. And what do all these things have in common? They're positively correlated to leadership, to business performance, and to share price performance. So I decided to test this. And over the last few months, I've been secretly running an experiment to see what would happen in my work life if I flip a mental switch and stop saying yes, but, and say yes, and in my work life. And here's what I learned. Number one, yes, and improved my team's cohesion. By running simple yes, and exercises at the beginning of Zoom meetings, it not only encouraged inclusion of the whole team, it demanded it. And this has set us up to be better communicators during this extended work from home time. And not for nothing, it's given us a chance to have a shared experience and an opportunity to just laugh together. And in a time when we're physically separated like we are now, finding ways to creatively make a team more cohesive has never been more urgent. Learning number two, and surprisingly for me, the most impactful, is using yes and in conflict. Yes and can disarm a rising yes, but conflict. And here's how. Often conflict arises when two parties feel like they haven't been heard. And just like you, I've witnessed this in meetings. By saying yes to someone who disagrees with you, it acknowledges their point of view and it signals that you have listened to them. By sharing that yes, it gives you permission to add your and, building this bridge of trust where you can hold multiple points of view while preserving the relationship. Learning number 3. And of course, it's the granddaddy of them all. It's yes and in brainstorming. This is the easiest way to experiment with yes and. Simply add a yes and to every ideation offer. And yes, it will make your ideas stronger, and it will also unleash the diverse thinking of your team. And before you know it, it's going to take you in uncommon directions with happy accidents that can help you discover things that you hadn't planned. Maybe even you invent a new business model. So what I have discovered from all of these learnings is that yes and is contagious. And by deliberately using yes and, others around me did it too. And what I realized is that we have started to build a yes and mindset and a culture of collaboration. So after all of this, I can honestly say that I'm on a mission to spread yes and. Now imagine what is possible if you join me in this mission and you share this yes and philosophy in your conversations, in your work life, and in your community. Will you join me on this mission? I so hope your answer is yes and. Thank you so much.